Hey guys, welcome to episode number 80 of the Game On Girlfriend podcast. This episode is for all you pet lovers. You have a pet you love. Like, you know, the one you just want to smash their face and you talk like that. You go, oh, you know, when you do that, oh, I know you do it because I do it. And I know we're all not that different. So you do it and you go, oh, that animal that you love. I have a question for you. Would you like an artistic canvas of that animal up in your house? I know, right? All right, well, today's interview is with Nicole McKay. She is the founder of AudiDogArt. Yes, you heard that correctly. You have to check out her website. I say this in the interview, but I'm telling you again right now in the intro. Under this video, you're going to see a link to her website. I really urge you to go click on it and play with the little slider where she does the before and after between the photo and the art. It's, first of all, so fun, totally addictive, and brilliant marketing, by the way, guys. But it'll let you see what's possible for you to have in your home of your pet. Stop it. Anyway, what I love about Nicole, yes, of course, we love the end product. We love the businesses. We love promoting awesome women-owned businesses. But you guys, and yes, I call you guys, even though I know most of you are women, you guys, oh my gosh, her story is one of those stories I love to tell. It's one of those stories of like, oh, little bump here, little bump there, little redirect here, little bump there, that gets her exactly where she needs to be, so that 3 months before COVID hits the United States, Nicole had founded her business. And what's one of the industries that blew up during COVID, like absolutely excelled during COVID, was home goods. How can we make our homes more beautiful when the outside world feels so ugly? How can we feel more safe? How can we love being here even more? How can we fill our homes with even more love? And because Nicole listened to the nudges along the way, because Nicole gathered her experience, her expertise, and her talents, you know the 3 things I always tell you to look at, she gathered those, put them together, and bam, she had a business that by the time COVID had hit and was in full effect, she was shipping her art all over the country. So what I want you to listen for is this happens towards the very end when I spring a surprise question on her. I know I'm so rude, but I really did. I just had a question, which is, what have the bumps been along the way? And I want you to listen for her answer to that, because I think it sounds really simple, but if you actually take what she says and you pull it towards yourself, you're going to see it really is life-changing. And it really is the difference between, oh, I had an idea once and bam, I just started a business that's actually successful. So without further ado, let's listen to Nicole's story about AudiDogArt. Welcome to the Game On Girlfriend podcast. I'm really excited to talk to you about what you've created over this last year as a business. This is just like so cool.
Thank you, Sarah. I am so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So can we just jump right in and let's just get serious here for a second. Let's talk about what you actually do. First of all, I really want you to explain and describe this extraordinary business you've created, because it's so cool. And you guys, we have a link to her website. You have to go play with her before and after. It's so fun. Anyway, she's got the most awesome tool on her website. You have to check it out. It's so cute. But anyway, so Nicole, can you just sort of give us the backstory of how you did this and what happened? And holy cow, it was in the middle of COVID.
Yes, oh the middle of COVID. Oh my gosh. So I turn your pet photo into a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. I create custom pet canvases. You send me your pet photo, pick out any colors or styles you like. I send you different proofs back to pick one. You pick your favorite one. It's printed and wrapped on a canvas and shipped right to you.
That's amazing. So wait, so every pet lover who listens to the Game On Girlfriend podcast just like looked like the RCA dog. Nicole, are you too young for the RCA dog? Do you remember the RCA dog who would go, huh? It's like so cute. Like he'd listen to the surround sound and go, huh? Yeah. That's like, I think every listener just did that motion of like, wait, I can get a custom print of my favorite animal. Oh my gosh. So you have people send you pictures of their pets, like their favorite like shot of their pets, and you turn that into actual artwork that they can hang up on their walls.
Yes, that's exactly it.
And the ones that you have next to you, are these pet photos that were sent into you? They're so great. I see the ones right behind you. They're just So
Yeah.
pretty. Are those people that have actually sent those in, or were those some that you just had sort of in storage?
They're actually my brothers on the, I don't know if it's my left or right here because the video might be flipped, but those are my brother, sister-in-law's kitties, and a friend of mine's little Rosie there, just my favorites.
Oh my gosh, so sweet. And those of you listening who can't see, you got to jump over to YouTube to check these out because they're so stinking cute. Oh my gosh. So talk to me about how this happened, because it is kind of a unique business, right? This isn't something where you're like, I know, maybe I should make scrunchies and sell them, or I know I'm really good at cleaning people's houses, or I know I could really help people on Canva. Like, this is like a totally different, unique idea. Can you tell us how this happened?
Sure. Yeah. And I'll go way back, Sarah. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a veterinarian. Okay. I loved animals then. And when I graduated high school, I started veterinary school, and then I switched my major and went to school for business. Okay. So I knew I wanted to work with animals. I knew I wanted something with animals. I just didn't know exactly what that was yet.
So wait a second. So you had already decided animals and business were going to mix somehow. So wait, but why not veterinary? Like, what happened there that you decided not to do veterinary school? So you clearly love animals so much. So what changed there?
It was the medicine aspect of it and the chemistry. I was like, okay, that whole medicine part of it, I was like, okay, not really my thing. I got to figure something else out with these animals. And I don't know if I could put an animal to sleep. I don't know if I could do that. It's so, my heart goes out to everyone.
Yeah, no, I can totally understand that. And I know, because we've all been there or know someone who has, and it's not the easiest decision. So being the person helping people through that, I can totally get why that would be tough. So here we are. So we know we love animals. We move over to business, and then what happens?
Get into business. And I said, you know what? I want to be running an office in my city, and that's what I want to do. And then I got that after college. And when I got there, I was like, no, this isn't what I was expecting. That's not what I want to do. So I kind of had a little bit of a cancer scare in 2019. And that year I just said, you know what? I traveled all over the Midwest. I left my job. And after I left my job, it came through. I was gifted the very first Augie dog.
So you were gifted it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So it actually came into your life in a truly organic way.
Yes.
So, and first of all, I just have to check in. Are you okay? Cancer scares handled?
Yes, that's good. Handled. Good. Scare, had surgery, got it removed, done.
All good.
All good.
Heaven. Isn't it crazy though, Nicole? Like here you are just like going on with life. And then all of a sudden, I feel like 2020 was like this for all of us, but like all of a sudden you're going this way, and then boom, it's like life starts going that way, right? You're like, what just happened? And it's one phone call. I always say to people, it's like, there's that one phone call that changes the trajectory of where you were headed. And it sounds like almost like Augie Dog was gifted to you literally and figuratively in a lot of different ways.
Yes, definitely.
So how did you decide to turn this into a business?
So my significant other and I, because it was funny, I just kept saying, I want Augie on a canvas. I want Augie on a canvas. And that's what we did. So then it was in the living room, and friends and family would come over and say, I love that of her. Can you make me one? I want one. Can you make me one? So here we are making Augies for friends and family of their pets. And the kitties back there was one of the very first ones that I did.
So sweet. So I really love this story that it sort of fell in your lap, and then you saw the demand in the market for it. Plus you had this business background. Yes. So, all right. Okay. Everybody listening and watching, you guys know what I'm about to say, right? Like, it is your experience, your talents, and your expertise get slammed into one thing. And then what's really cool about your story, Nicole, and this isn't everybody's story, so you're lucky, but for those of you where this is happening and you're not quite sure if you should make a business out of it, listen, is that you were just sort of following what was happening, and then you saw that other people wanted it. And you listened to that call. And sometimes I'll call those nudges, right? I'm like, did you listen to the nudges along the way that led you? And you clearly did. And sometimes what happens, I think that what you did that's really cool is a lot of times when people get those nudges or people start asking them for stuff, they get scared to charge for it. They're like, oh, it's just this thing I do on the side. It's no big deal or whatever. Not recognizing that that's actually a massive nudge to be like, yo, dude, you need to start a business out of this. Like, there's something here that people want and need from you. So where were you with COVID when you decided to actually open your doors? What was happening?
This was 3 months before COVID. Okay.
Nice timing. Nice timing. Wow. Okay. So 3 months before COVID, you started a business.
Yes.
Yeah. How'd that go?
Yeah, it went wonderful.
I'm like this. I'm like, say more things.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing. So it like took off right out of the gate.
So yeah, December of 2019, I said, okay, I'm going to put this out publicly. I'm going to see friends and family want this. Everybody, on my personal page, I'm just going to put this out there in social media and see what happens. The first 22 days I was shipping to California, New York, Kentucky, Texas, Iowa. And I'm like, oh shit, like this is real.
That's amazing. That's amazing. It's like, honestly, it's like all of like the forces that could be like converged, because there were a couple industries that really took off in COVID. Like during those first several months in COVID, obviously we all know about Zoom. Thank you, Zoom. We love you, right? Like we knew that took off. But I think there was the industry of tech, obviously, but home goods. Mm-hmm. Like anything that would make someone's home more beautiful or more filled with love or have them feel connected was what people wanted. And because you listened to those nudges, right? Because you actually were like, oh, there's another one. Oh, I think we should do, okay, I think we should do this. You nailed it. And I just think that is so exciting. That must have just been like, what was that? Like, I was going to say, I'm going to put words in your mouth and I don't want to do that, but what was that actually like? Like you said, like, oh my gosh, we're literally shipping all over the country. Like what just happened?
That's what I was thinking. I said, okay, how am I going to ship these? What I wasn't planning on these leaving Michigan. Okay, well, I guess we're doing this, but we're going to figure it out. UPS, packaging. We're just going to figure it out, roll with it. I've never done this, but I figured it out. I asked questions of business friends that have done it or have been in my place. And it was so exciting and it's been so rewarding, Sarah, and then when COVID hit too, can we talk about that?
Yeah, please do. Yeah. Cause I think we all kind of just went through something kind of big. Yeah. Did you hear about that? Yeah, no, I'd love to hear what that was like.
When everything first was shut down, I was like, okay, this was just a side business. This wasn't a real business. This was just a little project you're doing. It was fun. It was great. But I noticed I still listened to those people wanting these, and you're right. Exactly. They wanted their homes to look prettier. They still had that same love for their pets. They still wanted something amazing for a small company that does give back to the animal rescues. That's another piece too. I do donate a portion of my proceeds back to the local rescues. And we could talk about that in a little bit.
Love that. Yeah. No, I think that is, and I would bet, Nicole, you're right. I bet that had a big part in people choosing you. Right. Yeah. I mean, didn't animal adoption went up like by heaven knows how much, because people were home, they felt they could take better care of their pets, but also we wanted more love. And I think you having that part in your business was a big deal. And yeah, I do want to dive into that, but keep going with your story because this is so good.
So I am a solopreneur, a one-woman show. And I think especially people wanted that connection with COVID. With people, they want to work with other people. They don't want to work with robots. They don't want to work with someone here or there. They want to work with other people. So that's my final thoughts on that.
I mean, you really allowed yourself though. I mean, people can sit back and go, oh, she just got super lucky. And I would say, sort of, because luck, I believe in the Oprah definition of luck, which is, it's when preparation meets opportunity. And what had happened is you prepared yourself by always listening, by moving forward when you got nudges, listening to what people were telling you, and you created something beautiful, which from what I understand, from what we've talked about, that's something you've just always done, right? Like you didn't actually study art, but you've always been creating beautiful things. Can you share that with us? Can you talk to us about how you've always been in the creation mode?
Yes. I remember being a kid, always into arts and crafts. And then in college, I did not have nothing to do with arts, but I remember I used to make purses out of the funniest things. So one time I used lottery tickets. One time I used Starburst wrappers.
I love it.
Wrappers. And then I have all these purses. I wonder if people want to buy them from me. And then I would flip to creating signs or creating jewelry. My hands are always in hobby mode. You can't
well,
turn
hobby, right? That's, yeah. And that is something, you know, I hope we all start to pay more attention to. And I do see it happening sort of out in the marketplace as people are recognizing that it isn't just a hobby, right? It can be. Oh my gosh, like, oh, hobbies are fantastic. Like some people just want to go fishing and that's it. And that's all that is. And that's totally fine. And what I think a lot of people are understanding is that those hobbies can kind of lean over into the realm of their natural gifts and talents.
Yes.
Right. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. I do this because I love it, but that doesn't mean it can't be my work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, Sarah, people have told me, well, your AudiDog is a hobby and you shouldn't turn your hobbies into a business. And I just smiled and, you know, no, the passion's there. I have been more passionate about this than anything in my life. And you can, if you love something, the passion's there, you're helping others, you're inspiring people, do it. Go and do it, whatever it may be.
100%. And, you know, Nicole, I'm going to say something about that phrase that makes me absolutely just like, I laugh because I've trained myself to laugh, but it like makes my blood boil. And that no one would say that to a man.
Right. Yeah.
No one would say that to a man. And that's the part I think that we as female entrepreneurs really have to stick together on. And I don't care, because we have to talk about this too, right? I don't even care like sexual orientation. I don't care transgender. I don't care anything. When there's a woman running a business, people go, oh, it's a hobby. And that just has to stop. And I'm really glad you shared that. And I love that you smile and push through it. And I think we need to call it. I really do. You don't have to play in this game too with us, Nicole, but it's one of those things like when people say that to my clients, I'm like, great, ask them if they would say that to a man. Like we need to start dealing with the fact that people treat it that way. You're doing something extraordinary that, excuse me very much, in the middle of a global pandemic, people were demanding from you and happy to pay you for. Oh, and as a woman, you also paid it forward and took care of more animals.
Yes.
So it's like, not a hobby, people, not a hobby. Like, this is a full-fledged business. Like, please stop it. And let's talk about too, now that I'll get off my soapbox, but let's talk about this too, like what you do to give back. Like, how did you come to that idea? How do you choose which shelters you donate to? Like, fill us in on that part, because I think it's a really important piece of your business.
Yeah, I knew that I had to give back. A portion of my business had to give back. And I knew, obviously, I'm making these pet canvases that had to be rescues. Those animals there do need it the most. So here locally, I rotate from the rescues around, and that's how I decide who's gonna get my donations each quarter. But not only that, Sarah, I have been going in and donating my time. I've been going into the rescues and actually painting with the dogs there. And then I paint with them, I go live on my Facebook and show them off and say, look at this beautiful baby available for adoption. And they're being an artist today and they are painting, and you can have them. And when you adopt them, you're going to get this painting that they painted with too.
Oh my God, I literally have chills. That doesn't always happen. I have chills up and down my arms. I love that you do that. And I bet it's probably really helping those pets get adopted faster, isn't it?
It is. It is. The fastest I think so far was 24 hours that I had a cat. I did one cat.
You did one cat, the rest are dogs, right? Yeah.
The rest are dogs, because the way I'm painting with them is it's so unique that it's hard to get a cat to do it. So
that makes
sense. I'm working on it. I will figure out a way to get these kitties involved.
I love it. I love it. So I hope everybody listening and watching, I hope you guys heard what she just said. Is you guys, it's so important to me when we have interviews like this, or we bring someone like Nicole into the Game On Girlfriend world, right? And we're talking about what's possible when you listen to nudges, when you honor your talents, when you look at all the things you've learned throughout your life. I mean, you freaking went to business school for crying out Christmas, right? Like when we look at all this stuff that we get gifted and handed to us throughout our lives, there is so much that's possible. There is so much that we can do with it. And not only are you now making a living, doing your quote unquote hobby of keeping your hands busy and creating beautiful things, you're also paying it forward and making sure these animals are being taken care of both financially, and you're helping them get adopted even faster. And I hope other people get inspired by that and they think, gosh, what have I always wanted to do? And instead of saying, oh, that's not possible, like you could have easily said at the beginning of COVID, well, it's only 3 months old, let's axe it, right? I mean, you could have totally done that. And I think when we hear stories like this, Nicole, I hope what it does for other people as well, besides inspiring me unbelievably, right? This is so exciting, is that we see when we leave our brains open, when we don't say, oh, that's not possible, when we approach it instead of how could it be possible, there's so much more that's available to us in the joy and the fulfillment in our own lives and in our own work. I think it's just awesome. I'm just so happy. I'm so happy our paths crossed so that we could talk about what you're doing, because I think it's extraordinary.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. You know, when I was a kid, my dad would say, Nicole, anything you want to be in the world, anything you want to do, anything you can dream, you can do it. And here I am.
You proved him right. I love it. It's a beautiful story. I mean, it really is. And for anyone sitting on the fence, for anyone thinking, oh, that's for other people, or, oh, it's not possible, it absolutely is. So Nicole, a little birdie told me you might have a little surprise for our listeners today. Could you share with us what your extraordinary gift is for everybody listening to the Game on Golf podcast today?
So anyone listening today, you will get 10% off your very own AudiDog canvas with the coupon code Game on GF.
Game on GF. Oh, I love it. We might have to start using that as an abbreviation. That's very cute. Okay, so Game on GF, you get 10% off. All of you pet lovers, and I know you're out there because I'm one of them too. I think we're going to have to deal with this. I think we're going to have to take this on. And also what an extraordinary gift too, right? To all of the people in your life who love pets. It's so good. So good. Well, yeah. Nicole, I really want to thank you for coming on the podcast today and sharing your story with us and inspiring us. And I have one more question for you that you guys, she did not know I was going to ask this. I'm totally putting her on the spot. Oh my gosh. So before we go today, because I want people to understand real life, right? Like, so you were handling all these things and this extraordinary story in the middle of COVID that you were able to make this work. What has been your biggest stumbling block in making all of this happen?
Ooh, my biggest stumbling block, getting out of an old mindset into a new mindset. You can do this. You are capable.
What was the old mindset for you? What would you say to yourself?
There's just the roadblocks, just every day to day, you go to work, you pay your bills, and then that's it.
Believing that that's all there is. That's the old mindset of like, that's what life looks like, is you've got to go to work to pay your bills and then you die.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not as inspiring as your current story, I got to say. That does not sound as fun. Okay, you heard it here first, folks. But that is a mindset shift, right? Like, how many people say, I can't quit my job, or that's for other people, like we were saying earlier, right? Like, you've got to release that and really embrace the unknown and the possibilities that are out there. Yeah.
Yes. And you believe in yourself. You can do it. You have the skills, the capabilities, the determination. Anybody who wants to do it, they can do it.
So true. So true. All right. Well, Nicole, thank you again so much for being on the podcast today. And I hope we get to see you again very soon.
Yes. Thank you, Sarah.